3.5.2, and now they're saying determine the coordinates of L if it is given that K, L, M, N is a parallelogram. Okay, now we are forced to scroll down so we can have our full diagram. So I can just erase this. So yeah, let's see. KLMN. So that's going to be KL then M then N. So now you see the parallelogram. So the nice part about questions like this is that when they tell you a shape that it is creating or a shape that you are dealing with, now you just have to think of the properties of those shapes. So we know with a parallelogram, both pairs of opposite sides are equal and parallel. So this guy is parallel to this guy, equal to that one. Then here it's parallel to and equal to here. All right. Then we know that all of the angles they are equal. All of the opposite angles are equal. So that means this guy now, yeah, now you're about 78.69. Then this guy is gonna be equal to the other one. Then we also know lastly that the diagonals bisect. So you see, this is just me naming them off from the top of my head. So even you're expected to have the same knowledge when it comes to these shapes. Né?
Yeah.
So the diagonals bisect, that just tells us that here we're gonna have this being equal to this and this being equal to this. So here the midpoint. Sharp. Okay, what did they say? Oh, okay, we're gonna. Yeah, how will I look at? Okay, so I'm looking for this guy. My coordinates for this guy. So I can use the midpoints, né? I can kind of use the midpoint. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look for the midpoint here. Do you see this line? Because we know that our diagonals bisect, I'm going to look for the midpoint here again.
Yeah.
Using the coordinates of K and M. So when they say diagonals bisect, that means when I calculate my midpoint using K, M, né?
Yeah.
That midpoint is going to be the same with my midpoint for L and N. Do you see that, né?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say now the midpoint, right? So for K, using K and M, so -1 plus -3, that's going to be -1 minus 3 over 2. And then a 2 plus -5, which is 2 minus 5 over 2. Then now my midpoint is going to be -4 over 2, which is -2, and -3 over 2, which is -3 over 2. Yeah? Is that so far so good? Ne?
Yeah.
So after finding my midpoint, so I know that here I have -2 and -3 over 2. That is my coordinate for this guy. So I'm going to use now, I have this, I have my midpoint, I want L. So what will I say? X plus 1 over 2 is going to give me -2. And then I'm going to have Y minus 1 over 2 is going to give me minus 3 over 2. So I just have to solve for x. So it's going to be multiplying both sides by 2. That's going to be x plus 1 is equals to negative 4. Then I take 1 to the other side. That's going to be x is equals to negative 3. Negative 4 minus 1, that's going to be minus 5. Yeah, because it changes sign. So so when I multiply both sides by 2 again, the 2's are gonna cancel. So I'm gonna have y minus 1 is equals to minus 3. Then minus 3 plus 1, that's going to be minus 2. So now therefore my coordinates of L, that's minus 5 and minus 2. Sense?